I'm a big wreck fisher myself and focus a lot of my studies towards native fish and the environment in general. And yeah, really, I suppose, focused a lot of the work towards management, and had quite a number of different opportunities, I suppose, to manage wreck fishing. In particular, some of the icon species such as Murray cod. I got an opportunity to go up to the Riverland to really work with the community to really advise the community about the issues that we had with Murray cod and stock status, and that the low flows were having an impact, and we really didn't have any evidence of a successful recruitment for Murray cod since 1994, and sort of went up to engage the community and sort of understand from their point of view what wreck fishing meant to them and what Murray cod in particular really meant to them. And it was a real successful time for us because Perza Fisheries in particular closed the fishery the couple of years before. Fishing meant a lot, and it was really important to them as a community, and more in particular was the opportunity to go out and enjoy the environment. They were having a lot of issues. A lot of them were farmers and irrigators on the farm, that farms are closing down, and they were losing water and losing jobs and things like that. And one of the main elements for them for relaxation and enjoying the environment was going out and going fishing and having the opportunity to target these Murray cod. Given that we had closing the fishery down, these guys were saying, you know, you're pulling another thing away from us that we really enjoy. And it was in these sort of discussions and these management arrangements that we knew that we could implement some arrangements that wouldn't impact on the biology of Murray cod, but also allow the opportunity for wreck fishers to go out. So it was really a good connection and understanding the community and implementing sort of a co-management for wreck fishing, and that was one of the main things that really stood out for me in the native fish strategy. Yeah, really good sort of outcomes for both us in policy and also the community. I think the main thing is giving them the real facts, and I think it is about a story. It's really telling them what is actually happening at the time. We need rigorous science to inform us to make decisions, and I suppose what we need to do is make the general community aware of the science that is actually being undertaken and the reasons why we're undertaking that science, so that then they can inform us to make those decisions. I guess sometimes the way that we convey that information across is we take the technical information from the scientists and really use that information and sort of tell them, as you say, a story about this is what we think is happening. So for instance, Murray cod in South Australia, we're seeing some real good recruitment within Chowler, but we're not seeing any recruitment in the main river system. So we kind of try and paint a picture about what we think is happening in Chowler and the fact that we're seeing a lot of water flows, and we think that that's dispersing the Murray cod larvae, and that there might be more food and there's more habitat in those areas compared to in some of the main channel river. So it's really getting them to understand some of the impacts that upstream might be having, or the weir pools, stabilising weir pools within the system might be having on native fish. So it's really emphasising those threats will support us in making those decisions. Native Fish Awareness Week, as I talked about in the forum today, was a great avenue for me to go out and tell all those people in the community and make them well informed about some of the threats that we've got and some of the projects that are actually happening in South Australia that can improve, and across the basin, native fish in particular. It worked so well, the native fish strategy in particular, and wreck fishing, I suppose, in my sense, because we had other people supporting us. So we had a community leader. So in South Australia, we had people like Henry Jones working with us, Peter Teakle, that are known in the community and trust those people in the community, that we could also, and they could also tell the same sort of stories to wreck fishers that we're getting from the science as well. So we had quite a few different avenues of telling a story and getting the story right for those communities. I think the native fish strategy has given a real good grounding, in particular my role as the native fish strategy for wreck fishing and native fish in particular in the future. Look, we've got a couple of real good projects coming up. Catfish co-management project with recreational fishing, with recreational fishers. So a lot of the work that we've been doing through the native fish strategy is starting to come about now through a few other projects. A lot of work that we've been doing on Murray cod is starting to pay off across the jurisdictions. We've got the Murray Cod Fisheries Management Group that's up and running now. That's a cross-coordination group that's really working together on those key areas. I think there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in the future to do with, as mentioned before, with disease. There's carp management, alien fish management is a real big issue that I think has been tackled very well in the native fish strategy, and hopefully we can further down the track keep developing and building that work that's going towards those areas. Water again is another huge area that we tried working in. I know in particular in South Australia I set up a native fish strategic working group that had all different departments within South Australia working on native fish. We're just starting to write a strategic plan for that and just going through the process to really build a business case model for South Australia going forward. So the native fish strategy has provided a lot of seed into a lot of those different projects, and I can see that hopefully those can be supported more going forward. It's been an absolute ball. It's as a person working in this position, I get the opportunity to live what I love, and that's going out and doing the rec fishing, and even taking kids out and showing them the environment and showing them how to catch fish. You've given them the knowledge, and even they can take that knowledge on to other people. I've got a great story when we went up to the demonstration reach in Cataracto near Berry. We took out a Winky primary school, and a couple of teachers said these kids are going to be real rowdy. Be careful in some of the things you say and some of the things that you do. These kids might take it away, or they might just run an absolute muck. And when we got up there and we gave the introduction and gave the presentation and took the kids fishing, the teachers and parents that came afterwards were just amazed about how well behaved the kids were and how much they enjoyed coming up and doing the environment, because it was hands-on. They'd actually never been involved in anything that was hands-on, and the kids were actually teaching other kids that never had been fishing how to fish and things like that. And it just shows you in taking these kids out that they can actually start teaching each other in these different areas that, you know, teachers have never been into and really been involved in as well.